Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope everybody's doing great and having a great day. So some really good news, which is always great. This is actually not we haven't had much bad news the last couple days, and like I always say, I always kind of cross my fingers that it kind of continues this way, but this was actually really cool. When I checked earlier, it was 116. But yeah, the crypto markets have hit a massive all-time high of $118 billion. And just even a couple days ago, I think we were at 98 billion or something like that. So the fact that this money has been created from thin air is fantastic, for lack of a better word. Comically enough, this huge increase may be due in maybe partially because that Bitcoin Cash has shot up by 65% in the last 24 hours and is sitting at $340 a coin. So like I said a couple days ago in another video, the entire thing with Bitcoin Cash, it was a huge pump and dump, and I would not recommend touching it right now if it has shot up by 65% in 24 hours. But what's happened is that the people weren't really mining it. People weren't kind of touching it, and the mining difficulty, it was taking hours to find blocks. And because the difficulty hasn't reset, but it has lowered itself, people are now finding blocks after around 8 minutes or so. So that is a huge incentive for people because it is rapidly free money that's kind of there. The difficulty is nowhere near as high as normal Bitcoin or the other big coins. So big coins, not Bitcoins. So this is a huge thing going on right now, and this is why I think that the price has shot up by such, because people realize we can get this easily, and everyone's kind of rushing towards it now. Like I said before, I don't think this will be a down coin. A lot of people think that it's going to eventually hit zero. There will never be any coin that will ever hit zero, especially one that has Bitcoin in its name. That is just not something that is going to happen. But I assume at some point, like I said, it'll fall around the hundreds, somewhere around there. And this might be a good time to then pick it up, because I don't see it hitting anywhere around $99. Like something horrible has to happen to the coin. Like it has to, like the entire blockchain has to be like ripped apart. Something really horrible has to happen to it in order for that to happen. But moving on, normal Bitcoin is up by 3% and is currently sitting at $3,358, which is crazy considering that it wasn't even that high a couple weeks ago. I think before the entire SegWit thing happened, which was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't the price at like 1,700? This entire thing, I mean, I can understand why people who aren't into cryptos, they see these price fluctuations and they're kind of like, okay, I'm going to take a step back. But I think we're also used to it. It's kind of like, oh yeah, these things happen. We have these wild swings. But 3% is a very healthy number, so that is kind of nice to see. Every other major coin except for, I believe, IOTA is swinging sideways. Like I said before, every single day we keep seeing there's never an increase or a decrease more than 1%, and they just keep on sliding sideways, which I always see as a good thing. Any day that things aren't slamming down to the ground is absolutely great, especially because this usually indicates that people are kind of, I want to say, waiting for good news. These things aren't going sideways, for no apparent reason. People have the faith in them. They're sliding sideways and people are waiting for some type of good news to come forward, and then these coins will go up. So this, I think, is incredibly awesome, for lack of a better word, and I really wanted to talk about it, and I was actually glad that it happened today. So one Bitcoin is now almost worth 3 times as much as 1 ounce of gold. I think that 1 ounce of gold is around $1,200. Like I told you before, this was years and years and many years ago. I was really into gold and silver. I thought they were the coolest thing in the entire world. It's kind of like, okay, it's a personal story, not really, but it's I thought it was really cool collecting things that kings and queens once collected, having these coins and stuff like that. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. When I first got into cryptocurrencies, people told me that I was absolutely insane because gold and silver were the real things that carried worth, especially when the price of Bitcoin went down from 1,200 to 300 a coin. I was torn apart by so many people. People were like, why are you getting into this? It's a scam. Yeah, on the scam thing, can people stop calling every single new coin that comes out a scam? Bitcoin was called a scam, Ripple was called a scam, Ethereum was called a scam, and now people are talking about Bitcoin Cash is also a scam. Every single new coin that comes out can't be a scam until you're profiting from it. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. So this entire thing is, I want to say shaking up markets, but it's kind of shaking up people's wallets, because if you think about it, Bitcoin is only 8 years old and gold is, slightly older by a few million years. I mean, I would also feel, quite frustrated if I had been into something and if I had, believed in this, because I've seen other people before talking about the gold and silver market, and they're like, guys, we're having a really great day. We're up about 50 cents, or, it's down, so-and-so. And I remember, I think it went up by about $10 at one point, and it was like a huge thing online. People kind of lost their minds and they thought it was the huge upswing that they were waiting for. And, to kind of, I mean, it's really crazy because it's gold, like it's literal gold. Like it's not like it's something else, but Bitcoin is, we don't know how much gold there is in the earth. We may never find out, but there is only, and there will only be 21 million Bitcoin ever made. I think we're around 16 million made at the moment, or is it 18? Something around that. I think it's 16. So it is rarer if you think about that, but it has to be kind of frustrating if you have been a heavy investor in gold for a long time. This is I don't know if I told you guys this story before, but it's actually really interesting. When I first got into cryptocurrencies, one of the main reasons that I kind of like, switched sides is because I was talking to somebody and he was telling me that he had an investor who was insanely into gold. He had made his fortune from gold because the price of gold in the 60s and 70s wasn't as high as it was now. So over the years, he's made tons and tons of money. So the investor told his client, he said, I have a way for you to possibly make, millions and millions of dollars. And this guy, his client thought he was absolutely insane, but he said, just give me 1 ounce of gold from your collection and I will, do my best. He said, if anything, you have millions already. This is just 1,000 that's kind of, going into the wind, which is a nice idea to have. I wish I was that fortunate. So this guy pretty much sold 1 ounce of gold and ended up buying, I believe at the time it was like 1,000 Bitcoin or something like that. He kind of bought the equivalent and showed the guy. The guy thought he was absolutely insane. So and so. This is when it was $1, obviously. And then the price shot up to 1,200 around the same. I think the original number that it hit was, I think, 1,174, something like that. But it was very close to 1,200, just scraping the very bottom of the price of gold. So this guy made his client $1 million. And that's kind of like what, switched me over to it. What can I say at this point? When someone created something 8 years ago and it is now literally almost three times the amount of gold. And then there's so many analysts who are talking about that it's going to go up to 5,000 and 10,000 and possibly, 22,000, 55,000. If people haven't caught on by now, I don't really know what to tell them. And to even, the price of one Bitcoin in March was the exact same thing as 1 ounce of gold. I remember reading that and that got me, really like it invigorated me, because if you have been in the cryptocurrency space for a while, the last 2 years, everything was sliding sideways. There was no real movement. It was kind of frustrating investing and getting these coins and then nothing was happening. We maybe had like, up 2% and then down 10%. And it was, nothing was really happening. So to go from last summer when Bitcoin was floating around 300 to March when it hit, there are articles online if you are interested in finding it and stuff like that, when they were talking about Bitcoin is now worth as much as 1 ounce of gold. And that was a really big thing. This is when Bloomberg and all these other places started talking about it, because it was a really big thing. 3 times is fantastic, and I can't wait for it to even go higher. It's not an I told you so situation or like I'm better than you situation, but it's nice to be validated. That's what I will say. So there's not really much going on in the news right now. There's some like stuff about SegWit, et cetera, what have you, but I didn't want to bore you guys with tons of unnecessary topics. There's a lot of price predictions, like always. There's so many analysts who you haven't even heard from before who are talking about, Bitcoin's going to hit 5 trillion. Bitcoin's going to hit so-and-so. And I'm like, how do you people know this? Stop making up these fake numbers so you can get attention and sell newspapers or whatever people read or do now. It's kind of ridiculous. And I was reading stuff earlier about people in a mall being banned from mining Bitcoin. I don't understand how that was even a thing and why that even made it into the news. How did that happen anyway? How did people get mining rigs into a mall? But it's not, it's really not important. It's just kind of like what is happening in this world that we live in. Yeah. So very exciting times. Like I always say, guys, we are living through this is the moment that we will tell our kids, this is how I became rich, because I was trading ones and zeros on a computer. But all right, guys, I hope you're all doing great. I hope you all had a great day, or having a great day, had a great evening, whatever the case might be. Thank you very much for listening. Like I always say, thank you guys for the support. I don't think you understand how much it means to me. You guys are absolutely awesome in every single possible way. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon and see you all later. Hey everyone, thank you very much again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys would like to help me and the channel, there are ways to do so in the description below. Thank you very much and talk to you guys soon.